like to demonstrate to you how we go about installing post-latch removable mullions. We lay the framing square against the door with the lead edge lined up, centered in the center of the space between the doors. Once that's centered, scribe a line on the header. Now we're going to do the same at the bottom, with the exception of we need to extend the surface of the door down to the cement floor. So by laying the square flat on the doors, we're able to do that. Now we can put the lead edge of the square on our line that we scribed. That's the surface of the door, lining up the perpendicular edge with the center of that space between the doors and scribing a line on the cement. For layout, for squareness, we're basically done. What this is going to do, it's going to align the squareness of the base plate with the header hardware, so that when you slide the post into the hardware at the top, it will slip onto the base plate nice and straight. Here we have a mullion that's manufactured by Post-Latch Industries. They have a chart indicating what's in the box. They've ticked off that this box contains a 427 CNI-P mullion post. The 7 indicates a 7-footer. CNI is a complete new installation. -P indicates what type of base plate is in the box. Options, standard light gray is the powder coat finish. At the end of the box, they're indicating that the hardware is located in the end of the post. Also, they're making a note that this is the bottom of the post. This is the end to be cut. So we're going to go about opening the box. Here we have the hardware. I see they've got the instructions contained in the bag. Looks like all the parts are inside. We're just going to set that down for a moment and pull the end of the post out. There's the jeweler's paper. You can see the powder coat finish on it. Quite nice. And there is something that would help the installation considerably. What this is a calibrated ruler. It's calibrated from the far end of the post. This is why you don't have to take the post out of the box before you cut it. When you measure the space between the hardware at the header and on the floor and have your dimension, you find that dimension on this ruler. Once you've got that dimension, you scribe it, square it, cut it off, clean it up. Then, once you've done that, then you pull the post out. The post remains clean, unscratched, and you install it. This being the bottom of the post. We just open the bag. The plastic we can get rid of. That's the fasteners. This is the housing that mounts on the header. As you can see, this would be the front that goes against the doors. It's about 1 inch. This is the back that goes inside the post. The latch, it would fit into the housing like so, with the finger going through the hole in the back, and the side legs, the holes line up for a pin to be driven through. Once that pin is driven through, it'll pivot. You can see the claws drop down. So if the post is coming up to the bottom of this, those claws are actually inside the post. So when you pull the lever down, you can see the claws disappear up inside and the post is able to move back. So now this is a polymer base plate. It replaces the zinc alloy plate that was originally designed for the post. This polymer plate was designed to prevent electrical leakage. Okay, we've opened up the instructions and I see they make a special note that they require you to use their truss head bolts. It's quite important, I guess, to have that low profile head, because when it's inside the housing, the back bolts or the side bolts would, if they were higher, would interfere with the movement of the latch, and the latch wouldn't be able to go up as high. And if that was the case, you'd have to cut the post out. Now we're going to mark out the holes for the housing. We center the holes on the line, front hole and back hole. Once it's centered and flush with the doorstop, we can mark out the holes. Okay, now we're going to center punch them so that we can drill them accurately. Use a variable speed electric drill for tapping. Provided. It's a 2x3 plate. What we've done is mark the center of the 2-inch front and back. Those marks line up with our perpendicular mark on the floor, as so, and we flush it with the front edge. That would be the door surface. Make sure that the back is lined up. Now, since we can't reach through there with a pencil to mark the holes, we simply hold that plate down tight and go in with the carbide bit. It's a 3/16 carbide bit. Just double checking, make sure we're still on the mark. Back is still on the mark. Now that we have all the 4 holes marked, we can drill them. Have 78 1/8 of an inch. That would be the length of our post. 78 1/8. There's 78. 78 1/8 is right there. So we take a square and we scribe a line. I like to mask off the finished part to protect it. Spray the bottom of the post, but we don't want to get paint on the powder coating. So we're going to spray inside the post, and that'll catch the bottom. Remove the tape. There we go. Now pull off the calibration ruler. We don't need to have that on there. We're going to pull the post out of the packaging. As you can see, the top of the post is marked "Do not cut." So it's factory edge, it's powder coated, so that's the reason that they don't want you to cut it. So we peel that off, line up the latch. Okay, we're going to be installing the post. Now we have to be careful. When we thread the post, we thread it onto the back leg only, not the back leg and the latch. We thread it into the crotch of the latch, like so. As you come up, thread it up in there, leaving the latch out. And at that point, you're lining up the bottom of the post with the base plate. You just dropped in on the base plate. Everything's lining up nice. You push it ahead, and now the post is locked. Then you cannot move that post. It is solid. To remove it, we simply pull down on the latch at the back of the post, pull the post back, allowing the claws to drop outside the post. Now the post is free to be lifted out and down. Now, as you can see, this eMullion system, even the post is unlatched. It cannot fall out. Other brands of eMullion posts can fall out. As soon as the latch is not quite clicked into place, they have a warning label on the side where the post, they should indicate the post falling out and hitting someone. This product will never fall out. When it's released, you actually have to lift it out of place. To lock it, simply pull it ahead and it's locked.